What's up, brother?
Solar Steve.
Solar Steve from Inc. Right next to me is Sal Gonza.
Yeah, brother.
The brothers Gonza.
Yeah.
You guys both Gonza? Like when people just yell Gonza, you both turn, right?
Yeah, it's a Gonz.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was Gonz.
Yeah. And of course, Rich Masello, what's
What's
up,
up,
brother?
baby?
Shake hands on the side because, you know. What's going on, bro?
Man, living life, family time, kids, like we were talking about
Yeah.
earlier. That's what consumes now. But religiously, we still get together every Wednesday, Thursday night.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. We're in and out, though, man.
Yeah.
You know what we have on
Yeah.
our agenda. Go in, 30 minutes, and
Yeah.
we're out of there.
Can I say like 20 years ago, like you and I look different?
Yeah.
These fucking two
They
still
still
look the
look the
fucking
same.
same. That's fucking not fair.
Gons is like Gary Farrell. He keeps getting younger.
I was bitten when I was 1918.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the
It's
vampire.
Anne Rice over here. You're
Oh
a
shit!
vampire.
Hold on, I gotta switch seats.
Yeah.
No drugs, you know? I mean,
Yeah. So I think I met you before I first saw you guys play back in the day.
Yeah.
So-
My going out and around
Yeah,
town.
yeah.
You're like a staple in Milford, right?
Yeah, I've been there since 2000.
Richie Stone,
Yeah.
Conine, Stonebridge,
Yeah.
Phil, and John. I think from growing up in the area and probably mutual friends,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just, my wife worked at Archie Moore's and
Yep.
she was going through grad school. Her sister Stacy
Yep,
worked
with
over
SBC.
at SBC.
Yep.
That whole crew, Allison Shea was a good friend of mine
Yeah.
back in the day from
Allison
Citrus.
Shea, there we go.
Yeah.
Bringing back some names. I should tag everybody that we mentioned.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
show
yeah.
today.
Yeah.
You got a shout out.
Yeah, I dated her, but
Yeah.
that's so many years ago.
Oh,
I get in trouble for it.
Cheryl,
You know.
come on now,
No,
that's fine.
great
Yeah,
kid.
we
great
won't
kid.
let
Yeah.
Richie's wife hear this.
Yeah. Sounds like I said right there.
we missed Daniel Street out.
You know
Daniel
what?
Street was a great club, you know?
We'll get into
Conine
that in a
is
second.
Part of our rotation,
Dude.
man.
I remember
Miss
when.
Eddie Braz at the front door.
Well, he was Stonebridge too, but yeah, he was
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
But I've probably countless times have mentioned Daniel Street on this show, and it was a short-lived spot, but it was.
Oh man, it lived.
It lived, man.
It lived,
and
right.
and when we
Yeah.
first opened it, and I give Phil all the credit in the world, we didn't know what we were doing, and we were doing comedy night, and we were doing, we had bands obviously,
Yeah.
but it wasn't what it was at the end, which I wish it was at the beginning because I think it'd still be here.
Yeah.
And we were just trying to find ourselves. We had burlesque nights. We had, all sorts of weird kind of crap coming through. And
Wasn't
then-
the story that John went to like Berkeley and his, Richie kind of
Yeah.
like hooked, did the right thing. Hey, guys, I'm going to invest in this.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Because of that fact.
yeah. And
And
John
you
was
guys
such a
went
good
to-
sound guy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
set up that whole.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you guys know you've used it. But I had some of the national acts come through, and they're like, "I've never seen a better system."
Dude,
It was
we
fun.
opened
So the
Yeah.
story about Daniel Street, if I was going to describe it, is,
Yeah.
any original local band like us,
Mhm.
dies to play at Toad's Place because you're
Right.
in New Haven County, right?
Right.
So we played Toad's Place, but Daniel Street, just, came out of the woodwork and
Yeah.
Conine ran it.
It was perfect.
It was honestly, it was like another mini Toad's
We were
Place.
doing
It's right
Toads.
around the corner from us because we're Milford.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
doing Toads, Corner Pocket, which
Corner Pocket.
but it had a scene.
Yeah,
Remember when
it
the
did.
fun,
It
remember
did.
when the
Fun
fun
bags
bags
was
was
down
back it
south.
out? Yeah, man.
Simple Jim.
Simple Jim,
Yeah.
good friends of ours, John Good, Gerald Good,
Yeah.
that whole crew.
Yeah.
I remember when I was going to Sacred Heart and I went after these guys. The sports page down the street, Thursday night, Simple Jim would play there. Fucking line was down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old days.
Those
They-
bands that,
you know.
to mention a few, Derek and the Fun Bags were the ones that first invited Inc. This
Oh, yeah, to open for the
cover
show.
band
Yeah,
got
yeah.
us into
Derek
Toad's
and the
Place.
Fun Bags.
Yep.
And then
So what did you
Dan-
guys cover back then?
We didn't.
No,
Oh,
I'm
you were original from the
no, I'm
get-go.
saying-
We have never ever
Yeah.
played a cover.
Ever.
All
No.
original forever.
What I was
Yeah.
saying was
Yep. Nothing against it, but we
No,
never.
no, hey,
a
yeah.
mega cover band like Derek and the Fun Bags is the kind of band we got under.
Right.
We were original band,
Right.
but we got under them because they invited us to Toads, and once you start playing Toads, you're playing to a lot more people.
Right.
And Derek and the Fun Bags used to sell that place
Oh
out.
yeah.
And they put us on, never forget this story. They put us on at Toads, our very first show. The first slot back in the day was the week slot because you didn't want to go on early. 9 o'clock.
9 p.m.
Right?
Yeah.
That was-
And I'll never forget Scott White, which was the guitar player at the time.
Hazard
he-
County.
Hazard County.
Yeah.
Shout out to
He
Scott
came
White.
up to me that show, and it was our first show at Toads. He goes, dude, there's like over 200 tickets for Ink in the box already, and because we just drew very well, and they just kept inviting us back, and we played.
They
They
pulled
played
us under their
almost-
wing, and
Yeah.
we played with them constantly, and then we got hooked up with Simple Jim, all great friends of ours.
Yeah.
And then later on, Unforgettable Fire, the
Oh,
U2
they
tribute.
played against the-
we
Well,
would
they were on
play
a
with
TV
them
show,
constantly.
Shout out to
Toads.
Unforgettable
You know,
Fire,
we
good
still-
buddies of ours.
we
It
still-
looks just like Bono.
Yeah, Tony, man, great
Yeah,
guy.
we
Great dude.
we
Great.
keep that same system, and we're
Yeah.
still open for really good cover and tribute bands. And we just opened up for Earth. Opus runs that band,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is
Killer.
Black Sabbath, killer
Oh,
band.
nice.
You know what?
Great
He's the
people,
one
too.
that, after the whole COVID thing with Toads, Opus is the one that got us back into Toads Place recently for our 25-year anniversary show. So
Yeah.
it's great to
Yeah,
be back
it
at
is.
Toads. Yeah,
Shout out to Opus. He's been a staple
Yeah.
in the Connecticut, New Haven
Forever.
Yeah.
scene from
absolutely.
before the Gargantua Soul days.
Yeah.
Was he Blind Justice or Chris Keys was Blind
No,
Justice?
Chris Keys.
No, Chris Keys was Blind
Well,
Justice.
I-
I'm not
Opus
sure.
was-
I'm not sure if he played drums. He may have played drums for Blind Justice, but
Yeah.
I always remember Opus for G Soul, and I always when I first met Opus, I said, "Bro, I just want to tell you, you and the guys in G Soul are the ones that inspired Steven and I
Absolutely.
when we moved from Stanford to Milford,
Yeah.
and we weren't playing yet. We went out. It was at the Gathering.
The Gathering. And
G
Milford-
Soul was playing the Gathering, and my brother's like, "Oh, band Gargantua Soul."
Cougarville, that was Cougarville back then.
Is playing at the Gathering. Did you want to go? And we walked in, all original, kick-ass band. We were driving home that night. And we're like, "We're doing it.
Yeah.
We're going to put together an
Absolutely.
original outfit," and that's how Ink.
Yeah.
First time I
So-
saw them
so-
was at the Gathering.
Remember, Steven?
I used to work. I used to do sales at a company in Brantford. So I worked as a with Bozzy, Jason Bozzy, which was in Gargantua Soul at the time. I never forget. He invited me. He said, "Hey, come to my show. It's right in where you live in Milford." I said, "Where?" At the Gathering. I'm like, "Who plays the Gathering?" It was like a restaurant.
there. Yeah.
But the crazy thing about
That's
it,
us
I
back.
went there.
Yeah.
Sal was with me, and they went on. My fucking jaw dropped. I was like,
We just
"What?"
looked at each other and said, "We got
It was
shit,
awesome.
man."
You know, it was
Yeah.
like a heavy riff, and and honestly,
They put a show on.
I remember going back to Sal and saying, well, let's get something going like that. That was cool.
Same thing happened.
It was
with-
all original, too.
It's all these these steps, and then we came up to see Living Color at Toad's Place.
I was at that
It-
show.
and it was
They were in a
I mean,
video.
they were probably there a couple times,
Yeah,
but I went to
we're in the video for Open Letter to the Landlord, and it was vivid. It was that tour,
Yep.
and we looked at each other and we're like, we got to play this joint. And then later on, we played Toads, and then we opened up for Living Color at
Yeah,
Toad's
couple
Place.
times.
So yeah, so it was like
Yeah.
so it was a cycle. It was really really.
Was
cool.
that like in?
Oh,
I'd say. Oh, the first time you saw it.
First time I saw him
That was like 94?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
early
When you were in the
90s.
video.
Yeah.
That's
They
I
were
think
filming
I was
for the
probably at
video.
that show with you.
Yeah.
So
Open Letter
I
to the
always
Landlord.
tell this story, so I'm going to stick to it. Is look, Ink, 25 years. We've always been all original. We've never played a cover. That doesn't mean
Not
you
even
don't like-
Freebird.
absolutely not. Here's the thing. This is my story, and I'm sticking to it. Is that if you've been to the Derek and the Funbag show, which we went last month to see them all again, and
Yeah,
you're better than ever. If you've seen Unforgettable Fire play, and you've seen all these tribute bands
Simple
play,
Jim.
Simple Jim, you see all these guys play Earth, you're like, honestly, me personally, I'll
Yeah.
speak for myself. I can't compete with that. I
Right.
can't learn
They're
those songs.
masters of
They're
their
masters
craft,
of
man.
that. But
Yeah.
I mean, I know I could write a song. We could
That's
jive.
Zack and Friday.
So we do. We stick to the
Yeah.
original because
Yeah.
honestly, the competition with tribute bands
Yeah.
and cover bands is just so huge that we stick to our original songs. And we got a nice little following that follows us
Yeah.
around, and we're happy with that. So it's
Yeah.
fun doing the original stuff.
I don't think I can see you guys singing some of those.
I don't think I can do it better than
I
You're
can't
doing
do
better than
And you,
you.
and you need to be in the studio like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
All the new pop songs going out. And all
Well, the
that
worst
shit.
was years ago when we would play and you'd have the drunk motherfucker up front. Play Freebird, man. And that would kill us.
He changed his tune once Steven walked him outside. But
You guys,
Yeah.
I was that guy once.
Yeah.
That you guys remember Live and Trust, right?
Oh, yeah.
Friends of ours,
Yeah,
right?
Artie, of course.
So
Artie
Artie and
and,
Keith and
Keith, yeah.
so and Justin and Matt. Well, Matt's the drummer
Justin's
in
a great guy.
Funbags,
Okay.
right?
Matt came out
Yeah.
to support us out of the blue.
Yeah,
blew our
he's awesome.
minds.
Yeah.
2 shows ago, he shows up.
Yeah.
And
Our
Jameson.
jaws dropped. We were
And
like,
Jameson.
dude.
And then the following week he plays Jameson. He's got the ink shirt on.
Yeah.
That's actually owned by one of our Scott. Is
Yeah.
one of our used
Scott
to be-
Weaver.
Scott Weaver used to be our sous chef. Or
Yeah,
our chef.
yeah.
I'll tell you
I
this.
realize that.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you the corner pocket story, which is a good story. I'll never forget, we played corner pocket our very first time, and we went down there, we're setting up and everything, and all of a sudden, just before we're getting ready to click our amps on, and we were all set up, the owner comes up and he tugs me on my shirt, and he goes, "Hey, you guys play covers too?" And I looked at him and I'm like,
A lot of
"Listen,
them.
we don't, but
We cover
just
our
do
own
me a
music."
favor and just go sit down in the back, let us do our thing, and see the amount of people we bring in.
Right.
And then you decide if you want to have us back, right?" And sure enough, we mobbed the place. At the end of the night, he's giving us extra.
Was that Joe?
Extra cash.
Was that before?
I forget the name of the owner. I don't want to mention it.
It was Joe.
Yeah, it was Joe.
I don't
Joe,
think it
you
was
remember
Joe.
Joe
He
Hess.
owned it.
Joe
Oh, you know what? It was Joe Hess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then after Joe was Neil,
And
Yeah.
Matt.
and they're the ones who really
Right.
brought all the
Yeah,
bands.
Neil and Matt.
They
And
brought all
after
that.
So that same night,
Mike,
same night,
his
because
wife.
if anybody knows,
This
Derek.
doesn't have to be a name naming show.
Yeah, I know. But just so you know, Derek and the Fun Bags were the shit at Corner Pocket.
Yeah,
and all
they
of a
were.
sudden, there was a night that they weren't playing, and Chris Michaels,
Yeah.
Michaels.
he comes in,
You can call him Nichols.
and and he comes in, and he saw us, and he saw that we were back, and he came right up to me and he said, "Hey, look, we'd love to have you open us at Toads." And I said, "Okay, who are you?" He said, "Derek and Fun." I said, "Wow."
Yeah.
We were so excited,
Yeah.
and they just took us under our wing. You know,
That's
we
awesome.
were opening for them all the time, and we went from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Before we know it, we were just before them.
Yeah.
You know, 11 o'clock was the best slot. That's the headline.
Yeah.
At the time, right? But
God, I'm
10
gonna
o'clock
get my
slot
11
was
now.
me.
No, I was thinking 11. You got 2 hours out. You're closing the bar at
You know
9.
what? No lie. I mean, we were drawn easily 150, 200 people every time we played.
Yeah, that's
As
awesome.
an original band, you know,
Yeah.
we just never stopped. Of course, you know, as you
Yeah.
play, you know, numbers, especially in Connecticut, numbers go down. But we
Yeah.
just played there last week, drew 40, 50 people.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's great if you have 4 or 5 bands on there that draw that. You got a decent
Yeah, you got a decent crowd.
Yeah.
My story
Hold on.
is, I'm gonna tell a good story.
Hold on. I didn't tell my story. Fucking see you interrupted me.
I got
your corner pocket
Tequila
story.
time.
Tequila
Cheers,
time.
yelling at me. Tequila time.
Salud, boys.
Salud.
Cheers. We got 3 Amigos tequila.
Richie Rich, Richie Rich.
I'm gonna tag them on Instagram. I don't know who they are. No, my story's quick because you were talking about
Mine's not, so it's good.
assholes in the front row. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's right.
So Live and Trust is playing at the Knitting Factory in New York
Yep.
City,
Yep.
and
Sure.
they're on one of the floors. I don't remember, but it was a bus trip.
Yeah.
So we're fucking pre-gaming. We're on the bus. I'm kind of like dating a girl that fucking knows Artie and all this stuff. So we're all, the campies with
Good
us.
times,
We're
good
fucking having a
times.
great time.
Yeah.
Kind of last thing I remember is I was on stage like mouthing one of their songs back to the crowd, and I remember turning to my left and Artie's just shaking his head at me. Now, if anyone shakes their head at anybody, it should be all of us shaking our head at Artie.
Yeah.
But I felt in that moment, I'm like, holy shit, I'm the guy right now.
Yeah,
I'm the
yeah,
fucking
you're
asshole.
the skinny
I put
guy.
my head down,
You're
I
the
went
freebird
down,
guy.
and then I woke up like somewhere on I-95 on the bus, like, and they're all like, what the fuck were you doing? And they were like, Keith, none of them cared, you know, like it was just fun. But I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was that guy once. Like, shit.
Yeah. Hey man, we have a lot of respect for Live and Trust. I thought
They were awesome.
I thought at one point in
Great
time they were
voice.
gonna get
Yeah.
signed, man. I really
He
did.
was.
Great voice.
Yeah.
Artie has
He
great
had a
voice.
great stage presence, great voice.
Yeah. Good tunes though.
Good, and that album they had was, I still have it. I still listen to it.
Yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
it's just a shame. It's
Artie
it's
did a
tough
project
industry,
with us
you guys
too.
know.
Artie did a project with us.
Did he? Yeah,
I
sure.
wrote a song. Ink arranged the whole thing, and it was for Tom Swanson when he passed, and we did it at Scott White Studio. We thought it was a good idea to invite some great singers that were in other bands that we liked.
Like
And
what?
Artie
Yeah.
was first
Was
on the
Artie
list.
one?
Yeah.
Artie was first on the
Yeah,
list.
we had a great time.
voice.
Several artists, several
Yeah.
artists.
Many,
Yeah, so
many.
15 people.
Yeah.
Males, females.
That's what I love about like that community. You know, a lot of community. You know, a lot of like people in certain fields. Like you all like the restaurant industry is the same way.
Sure.
Like someone you get like Hutch from Archie Moore's Got No Bad Accident, and they
Everybody
helped
chipped in.
dude a huge fundraiser.
Yeah.
All the bartenders donated tips, and I know the music industry is the same way.
It's
Yeah,
like
interesting
one big family,
because
you know?
Yeah.
that's the whole thing is that it's competitive to a certain point,
Right.
and then your family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You're competitive, but you know, if someone needs something, you know, whether a drum's thrown or a cowbell or something like that,
Sure.
you help them out.
Yeah.
We had a bunch
Fire,
of
you
people
know.
from, you know, the local area, you know, Lori from Naples, Steve Rodriguez, you know, a bunch of the guys were on that song. And, you know, Scott White, you talk about, you know, contribution stuff, but
Yeah.
Scott did that song,
He
free
recorded
studio
that,
time.
yeah.
But he was smart because
Right.
we, Inc., you know, wrote the song. We had a bunch of special guests. There was at least a handful, like at least 5 or 6 singers on there. Andre was
Is there a
on.
documentary like the?
There is
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
video.
yeah.
Is there
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
the
I'll
whole
send it to you.
video.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
The
That's
video of
awesome.
the song is the documentary.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
But
Yeah,
the
yeah,
whole point,
nice.
the whole
Yeah.
point was, you know, Scott did the free studio time, but he was smart because
Yeah.
he knew that I was bringing in, because I
Yeah.
invited the singers.
And now he's
Me
getting-
being the singer in the band,
Yeah.
I was inviting the singers on to help me sing the song.
And they're seeing the studio.
Yeah, they're seeing the
Right,
studio,
right.
and they, you know, ended up seeing the studio and getting studio time. So
That's
that's a
great.
workout good for
Yeah,
him too.
yeah, it was excellent. And Scott did a cameo on it too. He did lead break, didn't he?
Yep, Scott
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Scott's
but-
an awesome guitar.
Yeah. So we had a blast. That was good.
He once threw his guitar, and do you remember this story?
I don't remember that story.
Oh yeah.
What
Yes,
video
I
was
do. I do.
Dana Street.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah,
I never heard that.
He threw his
Yep.
guitar into the crowd and
Yep.
cracked some lady in the.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? I
Yeah,
never heard
yeah.
that story.
And
Yeah.
lawyers get involved and all that kind of shit.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's cut that
I'll
out
just
of the.
look
Yeah.
We'll cut that
Now
out.
you said that out, my
Yeah.
producer. No,
Yeah.
this was so long ago. It's already been settled.
Yeah.
But yes, this,
We've
that,
had,
was,
and
that
then-
was a big to do back in the
Yeah,
day.
we got
I
real
remember
close with
that.
Scott. He did an album for us when we were a power trio,
Yep.
and we actually invited him to our New York show. I think it was
Right.
CBGB's or
Yeah.
No, it was
The Continental.
when
he
played
came and
with
he
us.
jammed with us.
Continental.
It was on like a Wednesday
Yeah.
night
Isn't
too.
that from?
We like Live and Trust, and
Yeah.
many of us, we used to do that circuit, right?
Yeah.
You'd go in on a Tuesday night, play to a record company, if you were
Yeah,
lucky enough,
right.
with 2 people in the audience. It was Arlene's Grocery, the Continental, CB's,
Don Hills, the
Don
Bar
Hills,
Bat.
the Bar Bat.
What was the show that?
And these were all in the village.
Acme Underground.
Acme Underground.
Acme
Arlene's
Un-
Grocery, did I say that right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Acme
but
Underground.
that was the circuit back in
Yeah.
04, 05. Everybody was trying
Acme
to.
So
Underground.
you're playing to talent scouts.
Hobbs
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
Heifers,
Yeah.
Otto Shrunken
Yeah,
Heads. I mean,
Heifers.
all of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Wow.
Acme Underground was the show where we showed up, we loaded in, there was nobody in the club, because it was New York City working at a
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, we pull in and a guy comes up to us and he said, "Hey, you know, Inc?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Hey, make sure you play that song Monster tonight." Like, who the hell's this guy? We find out that he's from Sony.
Sony. Yeah.
From Sony Records, and we came to see you guys tonight. We're like, holy shit. There was actually nobody in the club on a Tuesday night.
Right.
But
Did Greg hook that
Well,
up?
we
for us?
we
I
were
don't
full of
think
piss and
anybody-
vinegar, so he sat us down after for breakfast, and he's like, you know, is there any way that you guys can write more like, say, like Green Day? And we're like,
no.
we're like,
We're not
thanks
making it.
anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
But
yeah.
he
But nothing
literally-
against Green Day, but we're like,
No, but like
we would rather fail at what we believe in
Yeah.
rather than succeed at what.
it's like
what
Google
someone else-
Dolls. Google
Yeah.
Dolls were a fucking
Yeah.
punk rock band,
It-
and somebody said to them, "Hey, you want
Yeah.
to sing something
Right.
a little more
Right.
melodic?"
But the
And
last thing they
and
said
then
to
they
us-
made it. I mean, they sold out. Whatever, they made their money.
Yeah, they
God
got
bless them. but
excellent songs.
They got away from their
The
from their
last
roots.
thing they
Their
said
roots.
to us before the midnight coffee, whatever, was, "Hey, we're gonna be back in touch with you because we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do with you guys." So we're all calling our girls and back home, we're like, "Pack, this is it, man, we're good." You know, and guess what? We never got the call. But you know what? Like I said, you don't know the reasons behind it, but
Right.
it was
Yeah.
just a great journey. We weren't looking for stardom. We were just looking to have fun, and we were recognized by some
Yeah.
companies, but it just wasn't the right time.
And my story is I was in.
Oh, wait, you forgot you had a story.
I was Ink's biggest fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It was,
Yeah.
when they were their
it
first.
was just the two of you.
Well, no, it was
there?
four
Oh
piece.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the White
Oh, I was
Stripes.
gonna say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, we had
The
another
White
band.
Stripes.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was 4 people, and I was and I was doing my thing, trying to start a band.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I hate to talk about me. I'm not an high type of guy, but I would play, and you know the story, Gons. I would always say both know the story. After the band I was in would come off stage, people would walk up to me and say, "Hey man, you're a really good bass player."
Yeah.
And I didn't want to hear that. I wanted to hear,
The
"Hey
band
man,
was- your
you
band
guys
is
are really good."
Right.
And I was at every Ink show, front row, and they were doing their thing, I was doing my thing, and then.
And when I'm sorry to interrupt, when you guys were 4-piece, it was still originals, right?
Yeah.
Always
yeah.
originals.
originals.
Yeah, yeah.
And Richie would call me literally every day after a gig. he would call me, Gons, you guys are unbelievable. I love you guys. You know,
Little
you know,
fanboy, huh?
yeah,
I love
bro.
it.
I mean, we became really close friends,
Yeah.
all three of us. And then, fast forward, I fired the rest of the band except for my brother.
Right.
Okay, and Steven's like, "Who are we gonna get?"
Could you fire your brother? Are you Inc?
I no, I don't know.
Listen, here's the
I don't want to like.
Listen,
But then
Jeremy,
would be the
brother's the
singer-songwriter.
center.
Good, but I don't win songs.
Jeremy, listen, this is the honest truth about me, right? Sal is the founder of the band. Sal's been
Yeah.
playing drums in high school before I even knew how to spell guitar,
Yeah.
right? But he was always the drummer. He played with all the best players in high school, to name a few, Billy Ganopoli, the Ronnie Russo. All those guys were great guitar players and stuff like that. And I used to go watch in my parents' basement, Sal always rehearse with these bands. And finally, one day, Sal turned to me, his little brother, and he was like, "Why don't you like take up guitar or something like that? You're always at every goddamn rehearsal, right?" So I said, "That's a good idea." So I took up guitar, and this is the honest truth is, I'll never forget, it was college time then. I just, my first year in college, I took some basic chords, and I told my guitar teacher at the time in Stanford, I said, "Just teach me enough chords so I can get to my brother's band, because I have this opportunity," right? So, look, Sally had rehearsal coming, all the guys were coming home from college at the time, and they all were gonna show up in my mom's basement. And Sal had his drum set set up, so he said, "Steve, make sure you bring get your amp and stuff set up." So I'm up, sitting up all early and stuff like that. I plugged in my guitar, and the other guitar player came in, the bass player came in, they started setting up, and I was already ready. Right?
Yeah.
And they looked like, "Who's this guy?" You know?
Right.
So I just like belted out a riff that I wrote, and they all stopped and they were like, "What the fuck was that?" The whole rehearsal was like them playing the song. So that's how it really started. It's
Right.
like Sal was like, "Steve," and they're like, "You're right."
Right.
I just had it in me that I could
And
do
then,
that.
and then
So-
so fast.
I think
forward.
I gotta
so
tell
fast
him, let
forward.
me tell him the 6 Second Crush story, the day we were on the phone.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm in a band, 6 Second Crush,
This
with
is
a
what I'm
great
gonna
guy,
tell him.
Milford guy, John Whitaker, great vocalist, great singer. We start a band, we're doing our thing, we go up to Hartford, we record at Planet Sound where the Pixies recorded. Great tunes, right? Better than anything I was doing before. So we're
Great
getting
band,
ready to
great
start,
band.
great band at the time, we're getting ready to start booking shows. I'm like, cool, cause I know Inc. and maybe we can open for Inc. Right? So never forget the day, I'm on the phone with John, this is before cell phones, brother.
Total
I'm
phone.
on the
I thought
had-
this was a 6-second story, not a 6-second.
Six
He interrupted you.
6 second crack. So I'm talking to John. We're talking about what we're gonna do. Sal calls me. He goes, "Remember Total Phone?" I clicked over.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clicked over.
God, we're showing our age.
I know. Clicked over. Gons, what's up, man? What are you doing? He goes, "Yeah, hey Richie, we just fired our bass player and singer. You want to join the band?" I said, "Gons, hold on." Clicked over. I said, "John, I'm quitting 6 Second Crush." I go, "I love you, brother, but I gotta go do this."
Nice.
I go, "Gons, I'm in." That was on a Friday.
Yep.
I had to learn 12 songs for
Yep,
Toad's
for
Place.
Toad's Place.
I walked out in front of 300 people at Toad's
Yep,
Place.
Yep.
And Jeremy,
After
you
a
know
week
what?
of
did it,
rehearsing
and
with
you-
these
and
guys.
Jeremy, you know what?
Yeah.
Best thing ever happened to this band. You know why? Because honestly, for 25 years, we've always been on the same page of what
Yeah.
we want to do.
Richie's like
We're
a,
all
another
about
brother.
original.
He's
Yeah,
our
right.
brother, man. He's our brother. He's our blood.
We always
Really.
consider Richie a long lost
Love you
cousin.
guys.
Kind of.
Yep. Yep.
And it's the
Love
truth. It's
you,
probably
man.
the best thing ever happened to us because I mean, look, Sal and I, they say families.
We have the same brain.
Bands break up, but families don't. And
Right.
Sal and I have always been close together. Like I said, when I was writing that riff in the basement,
Oh,
Sal was like,
Oasis. They didn't really get
yeah. But when I was writing that riff in the basement, and the guys were like following what I was doing, Sal
Yeah.
like figured out. He's like, "Holy shit! I invited my brother into the band. I didn't know he was gonna take it over."
Yeah.
So you're almost like a what was it, like a prodigy. Like I tried guitar, right? I tried it with a guy that teaches downtown.
Couldn't play
What's his
it.
name?
Yeah.
I won't even say his name, but I thought he was not that I could compare him to any other guitar teacher, but I thought he was terrible.
Yeah.
He literally just played in front of me and said, "Do that," and I'm like, "Wait a second," and that was kind of how my lesson went. And it was cheap, and I guess you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I realized how fucking hard it is.
Yeah.
When you got big hands, I don't.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to I just
You gotta have that
I
experience.
tried, and I just gave up. And Phil Conine at work and John, his brother,
Yeah.
were like, "Dude, just stick with it. because one day you're just gonna sit in the couch and all of a sudden it's just gonna click.
Yeah.
And I just kind of gave up to my.
Sure.
And I was just doing it I
Sure.
wanted to learn something. I wasn't
Yeah.
trying to start a band or anything. But
Yeah.
listening to your story and how like you just kind of, you know, in college picked it up when you had a million other things you were thinking
I,
about.
I honestly think that all bands have like someone that could
Right.
really write a good riff or a song. I mean, I can honestly say I consider myself a songwriter before a guitar player. I mean,
Yeah.
just trust me when I say this, and people listen to this, they're going to say I can honestly say that there's much better guitar players out there. Of course, I have people think, oh my God, I saw you on stage, you're amazing. Maybe it's the way I move and the way I make it natural.
Right.
But I'm a songwriter before anything. I love songwriting. Put together a riff. How it all starts is I'll put together a riff. I'll make sure I can sing to it because we're a trio. I got to sing and play at the same time.
Right.
I'll present it to these guys and forget about it. They turn the song into something that I never thought
Thank
it
you.
would be.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the arrangement.
I love
Sound knows how to
I love
arrange.
that whole production
Yeah.
where it just we
Sound
would
knows
call
how
it
to arrange
ritifying
it.
it. Like we give it to Richie and we say, Richie, ritify it. Because
Richie puts his bass line
puts his
into it.
big-
And then before you know it,
4 Long Days, man, you didn't want to do it.
Oh,
So
that's another good song.
Favorite.
Look, when
So that song was one I was trying to think of yesterday or today
Yeah,
when I texted you because I texted Campy last night.
yeah.
I said, what the fuck is the
Campy?
name of? He's doing good. I go, what the fuck?
Camp below, brother.
I go, what the fuck is the name of the song that's always in, like we'll sit by his poolside and we'll just both like still to this day. And it was Take a Ride with Me.
Oh,
right,
Don't you
right,
take
yeah,
a
yeah.
ride. So he's like, yes. I'm like, I would just like hum it, but I couldn't remember the lyrics. But then 4 Long Days,
What?
we used to joke about because that was when our shift ended on Sunday.
Yeah.
We had
That's
4
what
long
it
days
is.
of drinking
Yeah.
ahead of us.
Yeah.
So we would sing
didn't
that.
know that was the anthem. That's
It was-
funny.
yeah.
That song
the
almost
one,
didn't
the
happen.
one thing that amazes me, and I know that the band could attest to this, is that when we have a set of songs that we're doing for the year, let's say there's 20 songs we have ready, right? We always ask like our fans are our following,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
that
yeah.
like us, and we were noticing that our fans are people that we met at shows, that like the music. It wasn't like people from high school coming to see you because you're in a band. It was people that like the music, and that
Right.
it was always about the music. right?
You organically got him.
Yeah.
Well, we noticed
Right,
that when we
right.
were asking people like online, and Facebook made a big difference in, it was MySpace when we first started.
Yeah.
The online stuff, we would ask people, what's your favorite song? We noticed that it was always a different song. Every person had a different song that they liked,
Which was a good
which
feel.
was really cool.
Thanks for the-
But the
No,
but the
same here.
but the 4 Long Days story was really good. Sometimes as a songwriter, sometimes you write something, right? And you're like, wow, this feels like, to me, like a really catchy song. It's gonna go big for our following, right? And then we end up playing it out and it's really not, right? Because sometimes I think that it's good. Then just the opposite happened with 4 Long Days.
Yeah.
The funniest story behind that song is I wrote the initial riff and then Richie put in like the verse of it, which is just like a bass line, and I was just hitting the chord and singing. And we started playing 4 Long Days, I never forget, it was at Bobby's studio upstairs,
Yep,
right?
yep.
It was a rehearsal studio. We were playing it there, and we played it a couple times. I don't know, after the 3rd time, I just went to the band and I said,
He's like,
I don't like this song, it's just not working for me.
Really?
And
he
Richie,
pissed us off because
And Richie
Richie
and
and I
Sal
were
were
really
like-
digging it.
Right.
Richie
You know?
and Sal
He's
were
like, I'm
like,
not doing it. I'm like,
Rick-
what the fuck?
Richie and Sal were like, no, this is fucking catchy, just keep going, right? And just gonna show you how I could be wrong too, because
Right.
it's a song that we can't get rid of.
It,
Everybody's
it
always
was,
asking
it was
about.
so funny because then we went out playing it out and he came back and he said, I have to admit, it actually turned into, something bigger than I thought.
So
Yeah.
4 Long Days is most of my songs about a relationship. It doesn't have to be my relationship.
Right, right,
It
right.
could be my brother's relationship or
Uh-huh.
a story that Richie told me or my cousin, whatever. It's
Yeah.
about relationships
Yeah,
mostly.
yeah, yeah.
Because it connects with people, right?
That's what.
And
Yeah,
I'm pretty
a
good
lot
at
of
that.
songwriting's about.
But if it's
Yeah.
about my
Yeah.
relationship, it's very
Yeah.
sensitive. But
It's
that
4 long minutes right there.
4
buddy.
Long Days is 4 Long Days is about
4 long
a
twinkles.
relationship that I was in that
Yeah.
was sickening to me for 4 long days.
It lasted 4 long days.
Well,
Is that like lose a guy in 10 days? You were like fucking 4
Yeah.
days on out.
if it lasted 5 days, it probably would have killed me. But 4 long days.
So like, just a tribute to you guys. Like when you guys were like always like you guys probably played Dano Street 4 times a year. No, like a year. Like
Easy.
Yeah, I was
easy
gonna say
45 times.
15,
Yeah,
20
right,
times.
right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Quarterly, easy.
you know,
quarterly.
after the first kind of couple times we saw you play, especially wintertime, Because summertime we were at Stonebridge,
Oh,
but
yeah.
winter time, yeah. We there'd be a couple opening acts, whatever. Then you guys would come on, and you guys would do like what, a 12-song set, maybe. or something
yeah.
like that, right?
Right in our
Yeah,
room.
yeah. And
Back in
we
the,
would pretty much know every song as we're bartending. We're going like, and like so many people are like you guys are like singing along to these guys. I'm like, yeah, these guys are fucking awesome, dude. Like, you guys don't know eight, dude.
Heard of that,
Like,
Robert?
yeah,
DMB.
yeah.
I love
And
it.
it was like, and then those two songs though, like still stick
I
in our
have to be
heads.
honest
to
with you,
this
when I
day.
first met you, I felt like I had to win you over.
Me?
Yeah.
I guess it can't be that way, but me.
No, seriously,
Really?
like it was so cool, like, hey.
I thought you were selling Erna from Godsmack when you first walked in.
I
So weird.
So weird, Barry Peril.
Yeah.
No, I got that at Mohegan. I'll send you that video.
Oh, yeah?
For
Nice.
myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was like, to see the people that were working at Daniel Street
Yeah.
getting into us, because you guys
Yeah.
see bands all the time.
Yeah,
you
oh,
know.
yeah.
After a while, you think, oh yeah, they're probably numb, but for you guys to come up to us and say, yeah, that was kick ass, and I'm like, man, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Love that.
it was great, and like what's funny is like a lot of the big acts, like national acts, would come through, and they like it's just weird. I don't know. It's funny how the music industry works because what's his name, Dave Matthews Band guitarist, Tim Reynolds,
Yep.
right? Phil booked him there, and it was like $50 a ticket, and maybe 60 people showed up for the fucking guitars that Dave
Yeah,
Matthews
isn't it
did.
wild?
Yeah.
And he didn't play one Dave Matthews song. It was all him just doing his own shit. And by halfway through, there was 10 people left,
Wow.
and I bartended it.
Wow.
And the dude's like this fucking tall,
That's-
and I'm just like, weird, man. And then the guitarist Zach Myers of Shinedown
Yep.
they were touring through town, and Phil booked him, same kind of thing, but people stayed because he played Shinedown
Yeah,
music,
yeah.
and he was awesome. It wasn't a great crowd for us, but we hung out, we signed autographs, we drank with us, we had a good time with him.
Yeah.
And then Lemonheads were there,
Yep.
and we literally got
Edgar,
into a
Edgar
fight.
Winter came through.
Edgar
too,
Winter
right?
was there. Yeah, we had to
And we
carry
played-
him
we-
up on stage.
We
Yeah.
played with LA
Yeah.
Guns, which actually was a very good
Yes,
night.
yep,
We opened
yep.
up for them that night.
That's
that was
right, yeah.
that was an excellent night.
And it's just weird, like some of these shows, and like you guys would pack the place, and so I never understood or I could never gauge how my night was gonna go, unless I knew like Ink was there or
That's
Fun Bags or
And I'm
like-
glad you felt that way because
That's
before
so
any of those shows, we were like,
Yeah.
how the fuck's
Right,
that gonna go?
right.
That's so good to hear.
Yeah.
Jared.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
seriously, like
I
that's why
I really never knew that you felt that way. So
Yeah.
that was
no,
worth coming down here to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And when you first messaged me on Facebook, like, yo, let's hook this show up, I'm like, fucking, first of all, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like pissed I didn't think about it first, and then I'm like, we gotta fucking get you guys
And
on a Sunday outside.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe too late this summer, but like, or even inside in the wintertime, get you back in there. 'Cause,
Definitely,
like, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Bar owners always used to
Yeah.
ask us, or Sal always was the one that books the shows. But I'm always the one that gives Sal like a couple of words, like, hey, tell him this.
Right.
And I always told Sal, I said, if an owner asks you, or asks Inc., hey, how many people are you gonna bring? We always said the same answer, is we'll outdraw your regular crowd.
Right,
Yeah.
And we always
Yeah.
have.
Do you have a following?
Do you have
Yeah.
a following?
Yeah.
Does your bar have a following?
You know, following? Because
Yeah,
we
man.
do too.
It-
So if you bring 50 of your following,
we would be honored to bring it all back home to downtown Milford to do a
Right.
Stonebridge gig. It's
That'd be
gonna be
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah.
Killer.
And
Yeah.
the funny thing about that,
Book it, we'll
tagging
promote
on
the
to what
shit
Sal
out of
was saying is, we always outdrew a club's following is, I'll never forget, I don't want to mention names, but I told the club owner, I said, look, if you can't bring anybody, I could get 50 people to come to my house.
Right,
And we did that.
Right, right.
I had a basement gig in my house. We bought 75 people
In
in
his
my
basement.
basement, and I invited him.
Yeah.
No mention names. I said, come on,
Basement's
Sal.
like, the basement's like the size of the
And I
studio.
think he stopped in too, and his eyes were like, I said, see, I can bring 70. So my point is, I don't mind bringing 50, 75 people to your club, but come
Right.
on, bring 25 of yours. I want
Right.
new people.
Yeah.
Right, right.
But now what we do is, like back in the day, the cycle we had, or the chemistry, whatever you want to call it, was we knew we were doing the Pocket, Toads,
Mhm.
Daniel Street,
Yep.
and we were good with those three once a quarter each one,
Yeah.
and then just
Just do the
wash,
rotation.
rinse, repeat.
That, I mean, that's kind of the hard
The
part,
rotation.
you know, right, that's
So
the hard
now-
part with us now is, you know, we book the shot downs or
Yeah.
the hazard counties and everyone else is trying to book them and we're like, we don't want you guys playing at Anthony D's
up the
on
street.
Friday and
Yeah.
Stonebridge
Well,
on
listen,
Saturday.
we've always said
You
if
know,
Ozzy Osbourne,
it's hard, I mean, it's hard.
if Ozzy Osbourne was playing Toads every weekend, you'd probably go the first 3 or 4
Yeah.
And then he'd be like,
weekends.
all right, I saw him.
And they were like,
Yeah,
all right, we already
I'm
saw
good.
that
I love
shot.
Ozzy, but that's cool.
That's why
So
Phil
that's-
Joel did
that's
once
why
a
we
month
don't-
at
we don't-
Madison Square
yeah,
Garden
that's right.
and
We
sold
don't
out.
believe in the
Yeah.
saturation.
Yeah.
While we're talking about clubs, let's shout out the showcase. Inc. has always wanted to play, and the crazy thing, we got really spoiled because our very first show was like at West Haven, a club. And we hired a sound guy. We probably got paid like,
Jared,
we got paid,
was it,
we got paid $200 and we used to give the sound guy $250.
Right,
So
right,
we weren't
right.
making any money, but
Right.
guess what? The first time we brought in a sound guy with these big speakers, we couldn't go backwards.
across from
Right.
Dutch's Diner. What was that called?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mickey D's.
Matthews
Matthews,
Tavern.
Mickey
It was
D's.
before
Yeah,
that.
Spectators.
So
Spectators.
Jared-
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Jared
yeah.
Waiters, man.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
actually
yeah.
had good wings.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Jared, what
yeah.
happened is we couldn't
Yeah.
go backwards. So then we started to learn more of the fact that, hey, you know, there's clubs like Toad's Place or Daniel Street that
Yeah.
have built-in sound systems.
Right.
But this year we have some great showcases. We play The Cellar, which has a great, he lets you rock out.
That's actually one of my questions. Is what are your
Cellar.
some of your favorite?
So there's
Wall
music
Street
venues?
Theater, we
Wall
played,
Street
which
Theater.
was a big accomplishment for us.
Cellar.
We always wanted to
Yeah,
play.
that was
With
last
Lee's
year, right?
Lord, we
But
played
last year.
we've been getting invited to brand new venues that we've never played before, like well,
Jameson.
we did whenever Red Door we did them, but the Jameson,
And Jameson was a big
Crystal
deal
Bees.
for us, and I'll tell you why. Because
Crystal Bees.
Jameson is known to not bring in original acts.
I get a little dangerous.
You know, they're not known.
Right.
They don't bring in original acts.
Right.
They don't. And we were one of the first.
Which is
On-
like
on-
weird to
on-
me.
on-
Like
on the
to your
weekend.
point of like how many people you're gonna bring.
On the weekend.
Like we
played
have
there.
the cover bands, and I don't want to name the ones that don't draw because I'm not that kind of person. But it's like really, like you know, a lot of the reason why we stopped doing bands kind of is this is my theory at Stonebridge in the wintertime is because you know they go on at 10, and some of the bands we had basically they would get a crowd tops 40 or 50 people,
Sure.
but after the first set they go home.
Yeah.
Yep,
They're older.
Yeah.
yep.
You know,
Well,
not, or if they stay,
yeah.
they're getting a water or a coffee.
Yeah.
It's like we're not paying, like this is not making
I mean, if-
us money. Me,
Yeah.
I don't even care about the owner's money.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the tip money. I'm here to fucking.
Exactly.
I've always said too.
Interesting.
If Ink plays the front foyer of Stop and Shop, we'll bring 50 people
Right.
because people want to come out and see our music, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
But the shows that we're doing this year that are like the showcase shows to us are a great sound system and a place that allows us to play our original music and let our people come in and have some drinks
Right.
and stuff like that.
Right.
And those clubs are right now this year is the Cellar, Toad's Place, we're back in there. Jameson we played, and we're gonna play Crystal Bees this
And
Saturday.
Looking for,
All
yeah.
right, let's promote it this Saturday
This
night
Saturday,
in Southington.
June 15th.
Southington.
8 p.m. sharp.
8
p.m.
p.m.
sharp.
Yeah, we're playing.
Opening for
Our
Dunlop,
plus
great
original
STV.
music.
STV, man.
Oh
Jeremy,
shit!
what's
Yeah.
really special about this show is, normally when you say showcase, we play for 30 minutes at Toad's or 45-minute set at Cellar.
Yeah.
We're playing an hour and 15, so everything we got recently is gonna be a special show, and we're.
I'm not worried about you guys. Can you hold up for that long?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, pour me another shot.
No, trust me, it's me too.
I'll let you know.
It's me too. I'm doing a lot of dancing on stage too.
Bro,
With my
I'm
pedals.
the drummer.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as not being physical on
Yeah,
drums.
you're good. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you're natural.
Holy
man.
shit!
That's-
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
I
gonna
mean,
be a
that's-
special show because I'm a big STP fan, and we're opening up
Oh,
for Dumb
I-
Dumb
I-
Love.
Yeah, Dumb
Love
Love. Yeah,
STP.
they're
Sal
excellent.
starts
Can
off
we-
the show at 185 pounds and he finishes at 179.
Bro, I'm
He
like,
loses. Yeah.
But I'm gonna give a shout out to, what was it, Mark Saber?
Yep, yep.
Saber, he's the one that contacted us to get us in at Crystal Bees. I've been there several times before to see some bands. They have
It's
a
a
great
great
stage,
venue.
great sound system. And, when you're an original band like us, that's the kind of place you want to play. They got
Yeah.
lights, and you have a sound check.
Yeah.
So we go on at 8 p.m. We're excited about that. We're gonna play everything we got in our current lineup, maybe a surprise here and there.
So I have so we'll talk after the show for a little bit. I have some ideas about Stonebridge and getting in there because we do have a lot of guys, just names that we've been throwing across the
Yeah.
table all night. That I'm sure you could jump into one of their shows on a Sunday. That we
Yeah, no.
because our Sundays are getting pretty big down there. Like we did a Nashville night this past Sunday, which was shot down open for Zack and Fry,
How's
which
the
is the
draw?
zoo.
Yeah, yeah.
How's
Yeah.
the draw on a Sunday? People winding down and like.
Well, the beauty about Sundays is we're pretty much closed by 9.
Yeah.
Like we're done. Like the first band will go on at 4.
Oh,
If
okay,
it's
so-
just one band, they'll go on at 5. They'll
Yeah.
play one break and go to 8, and then
Yeah.
we're done.
So
Because
Sunday
everyone's got to work
afternoons-
Monday. 'Cause
Yeah.
Sundays we used to try to go late, and then people are just shot.
Tapped out, man.
Tapped out.
One weekend.
You know why bring a DJ in? And we started saying,
Yeah.
hey, listen,
Yeah.
let's get the brunch. Everyone loves brunch now for the last 10
Yeah,
years.
right?
Yeah,
Let's get the
brunch is
brunch
the
in.
trend.
Go right into the fucking
Amazing,
band.
amazing food, by the way. That's
Oh,
I
thank
gotta
you.
shout
I have
out.
nothing to do with it, but thank
I was
you.
No,
bragging about
absolutely.
I was bragging about their lobster roll today.
Oh,
A bunch of guys at work were
Dude,
talking.
you know what's funny is
Never beat
I
that.
won't name other restaurants, but our lobster roll is you can't beat it.
Can't beat it.
You can't beat it.
Absolutely.
You'll be able to beat the price somewhere else, but you're not gonna
Yeah.
get the same
Yeah,
quality.
you
Wow,
get
I
what you
mean,
pay
I
for,
gotta
man.
take
Yeah.
a mortgage out to have it, but
Yeah.
it's a great.
Not if you
I
know-
just told you, you
Not if
fucking
you know
leveled up in
Jeremy
the
McConnell.
industry. Come on, man. You guys play there, I'll give you 10% off.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
So
we had,
it's only
we had,
34
we had
now,
my
bro.
daughter's reception.
Nah, we love
the,
we
the,
love
the
celebrating.
dinner. for-
I saw, yeah, that's what I saw you guys,
Awesome.
right? Yeah.
Richie, Conine, John, Phil, you,
Yeah.
all you guys have been great to us. over
Yeah,
the years.
seriously,
Absolutely.
good
So
people,
we,
man.
you know,
Love the
everybody.
community.
I'm forgetting names.
Always
No,
have- always
we've
been
named
good.
enough fucking names tonight.
I'm Italian. I'm a name guy.
Alright, so, one last thing about you guys, then we'll get into some of my random fucked up topics for the show.
Yeah.
Sure.
But each of you, one at a time. What's the the favorite show / place you played? Who cares who you opened for, or if you were the headliner? Favorite show you ever played?
I have to go with Wall Street.
Yep. Is
Recently-
that the recent one, right?
Yeah, it was last
September.
year. Last
Yeah,
September.
yeah. Is that the one? The video is a video, right? Yeah.
Reason why is just a great, cool place, and
Yeah.
the fact that an old high school friend of ours, Tony Troop,
Yeah, from Leeds Lord.
from Leeds Lord, invited us there, and I think it was their reunion, or they were
Yep.
coming back to play with Leeds Lord, and the fact that he picked us to play,
Right.
and we went on just before them. It was a great crowd, great stage, great sound system. So yeah, one of my favorite places.
Nice. So.
I that's definitely
You
up
could
there
concur.
as well. I loved Wall Street because not only because Trudes and Leeds Lord invited us on, it was an honor to play with them, but also it was something that we've been wanting for a very long time. We always wanted to play a really nice theater.
Yeah. We would love to open a show over at the amphitheater.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
to
yeah.
play,
Yeah.
and to play that stage was definitely just an amazing time. It's interesting though because as much as I love a big stage, and I can remember back in the day when we first started playing, I heard Mick Jagger say from the Rolling Stones, that what was your favorite show? And he named like some very small, venues in England, and I'm like, why would he choose that? He played like stadiums,
Right.
But I could understand that, the
More
electricity
intimacy of it.
in the intimacy at a small club,
Right.
So I love Wall Street. It was an amazing show. Like I said, it was an accomplishment for us. But I do love the smaller, intimate settings too
Yeah.
of clubs as well. So I would go with Wall Street though. I really love Wall Street.
My favorite. How many people does Toad sold? 400 or 500?
About 900, 9 to 1,200. I think.
Yeah.
Legally?
Legally.
Yeah.
I've seen a
I've been in there like
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
so,
yeah.
We
So-
played there with
Just
the
trying to get my way to the
so-
bar.
We played there with the fun guys. It was
Yeah.
1,200 people.
I've loved all of our fucking shows from the minute we got in our first rehearsal, drawing flies, right?
Yeah.
Like shit on flies. That's another story we can tell you.
Yeah.
But my favorite show was the first show that I came out having played to 10, 15 people at shows and then joining these guys and walking out to 1,000 people at Toads.
That was
I was
You came in at a good time.
I was shaking, but that's many,
Talk about
many years
stepping
ago.
in shit, Richard.
Right, but I was
Right?
shaking. Like I remember playing the first
You
song,
ripped it too, man.
but by the time we got to like Ricky Tikki or
Yeah.
but
Richie,
that was my favorite show
when he
because-
came in, man. He showed us. We played with him. We played one song. We actually lured him in on New Year's Eve. We said, "Learn this song.
Bring your
And it
hair
was-
down.
Yeah,
Learn this
song." And he
take
jammed with
these,
us.
Jared. Take these.
Yeah,
They're okay.
Yeah, he jammed that one song with us, and I
Yeah.
looked
That's
at
how
him.
you
and
proposed,
I was
right?
like, I was like, all right, there's the test run.
Yeah.
I think we can. I think we bring him in,
Yeah.
and we brought him in. He
But
learned
God,
all those
so
songs,
many
man.
awesome shows.
Oh, I know. I
Jeremy,
just
I'll
wanted-
comment.
that would be
I gotta
mine.
comment on one more thing.
Yeah.
Because I thought about it after I said Wall Street. Of course, Wall Street was the amazing stage and stuff like that. But one of my favorite shows was when Sal Fired, the other lead singer, And he told me, I said, Sal, we got a show coming up it was a Frog Pond.
Yeah.
He goes, he was gonna sing, he said, you are,
Yeah.
right? So I had like big shoes to fill because I had to
Yeah.
like rearrange the songs so that I could sing and play at the same
Were you a
time.
tyrant back then? Just firing people?
Well,
left and right?
I mean, look, honestly,
Fucking Napoleon over there.
he's the founder of the band. But
Napoleon Dynamite.
But the best part of the end of the story was that, I was always a little worried about singing and playing at the same time. So I arranged some things, and he gave me that mic. He gave me that lead front man role, right? I'll never forget. Like, we played the show, and then after the show, I was packing up. I looked at him and I said, "You're
Never
gonna
leaving.
You're never gonna take this away from me
Can't
now."
fire your brother.
No, I said, "You're never gonna take this away from me." I said, "I'm gonna be the lead singer from now because I loved
Yeah,
it."
man.
It was
Yeah.
like a high. I've never done drugs, and I said, "That's my high." It was awesome. And
Yeah.
I'm actually singing this, lyrics that I wrote. Because before I write them out and give it to another guy.
Yeah.
But once he did that, I
It
knew-
wasn't conveyed the way like Stephen would sing with the passion, and then the whoever was singing the songs at the time wouldn't have the
Arranging
same
it.
melody.
Now, be honest. What he just said, at the time, were you like, fuck yeah?
Oh yeah,
Were you like listen to you sing?
I wanted him
Holy
to sing
shit.
forever.
Well,
Like,
but
yes.
what really happened
He didn't
was-
have that. He didn't have the.
What
confidence.
really happened is that it was this one song that I wrote that I went to the old lead singer at the time. If we played a 20-song set, he'd sing 19 songs, and I'd say, "Hey, I just want to keep this one song for myself. I want to sing it."
Yeah.
So he would sort of like go get a beer, and I would step to the mic and sing
Yeah.
it. And I never forget, like, people would like, "Hey man, you should step to the mic
Yeah,
more."
more often,
I was like,
yeah.
"Oh,
The
fuck,
sound guy
maybe,
said,
maybe they
"Yeah,
do
step
like me."
more often.
Even the sound guy, it's new music.
Who was the old singer?
No mention names.
I'll Google it.
Yeah, believe it or not,
I'll tell you what.
I'm sure there's a Wikipedia of you guys.
Well, there were a few.
we had a few before we got out of the garage.
We've got stories of who came to audition.
Oh,
Remember
shit.
who Jim
We
Croce?
had one guy come
Jim
to an
Croce
audition.
Jim Magician.
Dude,
Listen to this.
no, don't even mention it.
Come on.
But there was one I gotta mention. This guy
fucking
came
tie.
to an audition in Sal's garage, right? And he brought his PA system, which was bigger than him. I'm like, dude, you're not in a band yet. Get that shit out of here.
He was carrying a PA system.
Jim Croce showed up.
He was fucking awful, dude.
I know him.
Oh my
The guy
god.
with the tie. Remember
Yes,
he had the
yes,
tie that went to his belly button?
I thought he was gonna sell me a vacuum.
We can't
He's like,
do
I'm here
that.
for the audition. He
Yes.
knocked on my door.
Oh, yeah.
I said,
I'm busy,
I
man.
don't want to buy anything today.
He goes, "No, I'm here for the
no,
band."
no Eureka vacuum.
This was before.
Doesn't he
my
have like
time.
a really harsh voice too? Or maybe you think of somebody
This
else.
guy looked Jim.
Just so you know, you don't even know who this guy
Oh,
was.
he looked like Jim
Yeah, that
Croce.
wasn't
Oh,
real.
I know a guy named like that
Yeah.
Jim Croce.
No,
Something close.
Yeah.
Oh, he looked like Jim.
So, yeah.
I got one more funny thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
We've been a three-piece for 25 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But over the years, we have been offered to be a four-piece
Oh,
on many occasions.
Oh yeah.
How many
I
times?
play keyboard.
How
over
many
there.
times we've come off stage and somebody would walk up?
it's
and
the
You
say,
guys
same
are really
great
good.
story.
you know, you guys are really good.
But
I actually
if you
took this fucking thing the whole wrong way.
If you just had, if you just,
I thought you meant.
if you just had some keyboards in your song, right? Or hey, you guys would be good if you had a little mandolin.
yeah,
And then they,
Little
by the way, I
ukulele.
play mandolin. You know, oh, dude.
yeah.
Remember those guys?
Never
You know,
fails.
You guys
Oh,
are
I
great.
saw you did it. I was, searching your music on iTunes and stuff, or I think I was on YouTube, and I saw you in a video with like a girl,
Yeah.
and
So
there was a piano player,
Oh,
Yes.
dude.
and you were singing. She was saying, I was like, wow, that's
absolutely. Yeah. So
Thank you. That's a big
no, I
compliment.
have. Let's face it.
I can't remember her name. It was
Again,
late night research last night.
Steven did a
I can
beautiful.
honestly say I'm a songwriter before
Yeah.
a guitar
Right,
player.
yeah.
And there are some songs that the truth is they're more on the lighter side. I mean, like Ink is a hard rock band, and we
Yeah.
decided we're gonna go play a showcase for 45 minutes. It's gonna be rock and roll.
Right.
We just want to rock
Jam
out. So some of the lighter piano songs they start on acoustic song, and I have a good friend of mine.
Wasn't
Dan,
the Marin song
Dan-
the first one of those? You kind of.
Not really. I mean, we played some lighter songs, like as far as the piano version. Yeah, I think I added piano like in the Marin song. But the whole point is, there's a lighter side that I have. I mean, all songwriters have that. I mean,
Yeah.
I can rock out real hard on my Mesa stack, right?
That's when I go get.
But
a
then I
drink
go
at
back
shows
and I
the
say,
album
let me pick up my
Yeah.
acoustic guitar. And if something comes out that I like, and it doesn't fit Ink, we're not gonna come out with pianos and
Right.
violins at a Toad show. We're just not gonna do that,
I just saw Disturbed, and I love Disturbed. The first time I ever saw them, they were up at Mohegan, and you know, he's got that new ballad that he did with the lead singer of Heart. What's her
Yeah.
name? And
Wilson.
yeah, Wilson. But he had
Ian Wilson, is it?
Ann Wilson, yeah, but he had the girl from the band that played it before them come out and sing it, and it was fine, like whatever,
Yeah.
like, but I like the point you're saying, because like when I go to see like my favorite bands,
Who are your favorite bands?
Stain, Disturbed,
Oh, right up my alley, man.
Did you ever
rest
get?
in peace.
Did you ever get into
Saki.
Aaron Lewis's country shit?
Well, see, what's weird is yes and
Little
no.
Too out there for you?
No, well, like the song Massachusetts and like some of his other songs that were kind of he was doing as Stain was still around
Yeah.
before they came back.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool, like a ballad when I go see him.
Yeah.
And I saw him at Mohegan Sun with my mom. My mom like
I
knows
was
him.
there.
Yeah,
Oh, wow,
he
right.
used to do the little cabaret shows there on around Christmas time,
Yeah.
and sat front row. My mom got me tickets,
That's awesome.
and like you don't even think about it, and then all of a sudden I remember reading an article in like one of those rock magazines or whatever. It wasn't Rolling Stone, fuck them. It was one of those magazines though, and
Yeah. Fuck them.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it was an interview with Aaron, and at the end, the interviewer asked him, you know, what do you say to your fans that don't like country? And he goes, sorry. and then he went country for a few years, and now he's kind of back, and
Yeah.
he does both, and it's all good.
So you're a rocker. You like your.
Oh, I'm a rocker,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Like I grew up in the in the '80s with Motley Crue and Poison,
Yeah,
Rat, and
yeah.
all that
So
shit. And then I went into the grunge phase in the
Yeah,
'90s,
yeah,
all that
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, if I was
And
gonna-
I really appreciate rock now, which I don't think
Yeah.
gets enough coverage. You know.
If I was gonna
Um,
comment on that, the honest
yeah.
truth is it fills the void for me as far as when I'm on stage with these guys, I wanna rock out and be hard rock.
Right.
But if someone wants to listen to like a song that I wrote that's a piano acoustic version, or maybe a female vocalist, it's
Yeah.
headphones.
Yeah.
I really probably wouldn't do that live, 'cause
Right,
to me
right.
it just doesn't, I
Right.
don't know, just give the
It-
drive.
yeah.
So that's sort of like, I mean, even with the songs that you saw out there on
Mhm.
YouTube,
Right.
you notice it's Solar Steve from Ink.
Right. Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
Because I'm just the lead
Of
singer
course.
of Ink,
Yeah.
doing a song with
Yeah.
a female.
Yeah, no, I just it's you know, to me I love rocking out, and like I said to you today, and I was like, hey, you know, that song is fucking, I want to put it in my car, and day
Yeah.
like today.
He was looking
when
for
it
a
was
ride
like-
in 4 months
Yeah,
to play
yeah, yeah.
on iTunes.
We-
Yeah.
I'll sing it for you right here.
No, I'm sorry.
We'll have to get to you, we have it on CD.
No, well, actually, when you
It's
bring me
Daniel
swag,
Street, it's Daniel Street,
You guys have a CD
it's a
from back
live
then, right?
CD, Daniel
Absolutely.
Street.
Yeah.
We got stuff for you, bro.
Yeah.
We do, well.
Did you know that we recorded a live CD? Joetown recorded us live at Daniel Street.
you showed me the bootleg. I saw the bootleg video.
Yeah. I showed him "Forgive Me" from.
Yeah.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
that
Yeah.
show.
I love that song. I want to bring that
I'm
song
like,
back.
look at that lovely brick behind him.
Right?
Oh, so
I
nice.
miss
That was
fucking
such an
Daniel
excellent.
Street, man.
Can we
I
all
miss
can we
Daniel.
all agree?
Can we all have
that-
a toast to Daniel Street?
Yeah, come on.
Can we
Cheers.
do that?
Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Send it down. Send
Cheers
it
to
down,
Jeremy.
ladies. Thank you to Daniel Street.
Go Nines.
Yeah.
Now I love everyone that works at Eli's. They're all friends of mine. They're good people. But I thought that when they bought it, well, granted they didn't buy it from us. They bought it from the Rigiones in between.
Yeah.
But when they changed it all to what
Oh,
it
so
is now,
the Nick and Neil's Rigiones
Yes,
own that?
yes.
Nick-
So they bought it from
Knickerbockers
Richie.
Rigione?
yeah, they bought it
Okay.
from Richie,
Yeah.
and then they
Hey, we used
Leased
to
it out.
play Knickerbockers.
The Kangaroos, guys?
yeah, same guys, yes,
So, yeah,
they're brothers,
so,
they're brothers.
yeah, Nick and Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They've been around forever.
I
Great
thought
guys.
when we like I remember we finished and we're getting ready to open, like a week before we opened, and I don't know, I forget, I can't remember what we had playing there or whatnot, but me and Camp were behind the bar and we're stocking the bar and we're putting the bottles up on the top shelf.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Fucking, I stood back, I walked to the other side, and it's just the fucking floor, the stage to your right, and the fucking bar. And
Yeah.
it had 3 tiers of back bar.
Mm-hmm.
It was like one of the sexiest things I've ever seen.
So awesome.
I said, this
That-
is so
That's
awesome.
what I loved about it too.
Love
I'm all, I like bare bones, like my
Yeah.
motorcycle, my drum set, I like.
We had
bare.
open
It
ceiling.
was just bare.
If
Yeah.
you could go back in time, because it's always easier looking in the rearview
Sure.
mirror. If you could go back in time, what do you think you guys would have done differently to
Keep it alive.
keep it alive? Or no, time caught up, the record industry changed, the music industry changed. Was it
can I tell you what it was after the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was,
No.
yeah.
Like I said,
We gotta have a show after the show.
Towards, yeah, it's called Daydream of Dog After Dark.
Yeah,
After
yeah,
Dark.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
who's the one that owned Knickerbockers? Was it Nick or Neil?
So
Nick-
Neil
Nick-
owns.
Neil
owned Kangaroos, which was our bar.
Nick,
Then he owned our
that's
bar.
why they got Knickerbockers.
yeah.
So, is that right?
Yeah.
So here's my story about Nick. I'll never forget because let's face it, we mobbed Knickerbockers. I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't know what the hell to do with all the people.
This is when the back room was there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
on the stained glass.
Yeah,
they
used to play right there,
Oh,
right where the
Yep.
kitchen was.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
On drums, they
So
Yeah.
Nick,
mozzarella sticks on
Nick
it.
actually
I
sat
missed
us.
that bar.
I never forget.
Yeah.
Nick
Great
sat us
food,
down.
great drinks.
Nick sat us down. He was like, "Let's have a drink." He said, "Let's talk about what this ink is all about," because he saw people coming in, right?
Yeah.
So I'll never forget. I sat right across from him. I said, "Throw some money, man. Sign us. Get us a deal or whatever like that."
Yeah.
He was like, "I don't know anything about the music business." 'Cause he was a restaurant.
Yeah.
But he was such a nice.
So who
Yeah.
was it?
Nice-
Nicola who ran the bar?
Sort of. That's the daughter, and then Martin's
Yeah,
their
no,
brother
Martin
and
Kangaroos,
sister.
Martin. Yeah.
Martin now owns Diesel in New Haven.
Yeah.
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 And
That's
but
right.
yeah, like
Yeah.
just
No.
My buddy Rob Hartman helped out.
Yeah.
You know Rob? Milford Rob? You raised
Yeah, Chopper Fest.
Probably know
right?
him by
Jason
sight.
Roberts.
Yeah. Oh, Jason Roberts. Yeah.
The floors.
Yeah,
Chopper
he did the
Fest.
floor at Dale Street.
Yeah, shout out
Yes,
to Rob
of
Hartman.
course. Yes,
My
yes.
man. Yeah, he's racing
Yeah.
boats now. But
Oh, nice.
he was there. He was.
I remember when he did the floors at Daniel Street.
I gotta
Yeah.
tell my West Haven story. It's
Good.
weird. It's not that long.
When you almost
You know what I
killed
told
the
you?
guy? When you almost
So
killed the
ready
guy?
for this? Here it
I
is.
don't know,
Jared, it's really
Jersey-
quick.
I think
I gotta start crossing some of this my shit off here.
Yeah.
But hey,
It's
we
real
on the
quick.
time?
no, I'm here for you guys.
I heard him
It's
say
real
another.
quick.
Hey, I heard him say. Usually I go at about an hour and 20.
Wait.
So I feel pressure
Well,
that we got.
Matthews just gave me the 50-minute sign, so we got
Alright.
about 20 minutes left.
All right, so real quick,
Alright.
in 3
a
minutes.
little under.
It's the funniest
Hey,
story.
I done a 2.5-hour show, but my point was
Ink
like,
played-
you do 2.5 hours, you lose listeners after
Yeah,
five.
sure.
minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, not fucking Joe Rogan today.
Really?
Let's go.
All right.
We're gonna promote
So here
this
it is.
motherfucker, and we're gonna put this up and have all our fans.
So here it
Absolutely.
is. So, like
We should
I
do a
said,
show
I-
here.
I'm not gonna mention any names, but Ink played West Haven for the first time, and we.
What do you mean you played in West Haven?
In West Haven,
Yeah.
I think it was called
Mickey D's.
It was called Mickey D's, right?
Oh yeah.
And we played there, and we did well. We
Yeah.
did well, and at the end of the
Before
night,
my time.
and at the end of the night, I would always go to the manager
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, look, we're packing up. Pay us what we
Pay
agreed
me
on."
my fucking money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
fucking
nice.
pay
I
me.
was.
I know.
We were always nice.
Yeah.
Right. But the funniest part of the story is
I want my
the
collection.
manager said to me, he said, "Well,
No,
you
he
know,
said to me,
no, well, let me."
I
It was
was
fucking 30 years ago.
Oh, he
Right,
went-
Sal.
I went to collect
No,
Sal went to go collect, right? And
We're not fact
I
checking.
guess Sal came back to me.
Sal was on his collection route.
Sal
Here
came
to
back.
collect.
Sal came back to me and he said that
Vampire.
the manager said that the owner said that we didn't bring enough people to make the pay that we did. I said, "Sal, I'll handle this," right? So I went up to the manager, and he was a nice guy.
Can I ask what you were asking back then?
Probably like $500.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$500.
Yeah.
So,
He
but
wanted to give us $250.
yeah, but the sound guy was 250. So we were
Right,
just
right.
like,
It's not
I said,
breaking
"Sal,
even.
let me handle this."
Yeah.
So I just went up nicely to the manager. I said, "Listen, we agreed at the beginning of the night, $500. So you don't want to have us back here, it's fine, but I'm not leaving here without $500, right?" And I looked him right in the eyes, right? And he said, "Well, I spoke to the owner." I said, "Well, where's the owner? Tell him to come out of the kitchen, whatever." He goes,
He's home.
"No, he's home." I said, "Put him on the phone, right?"
Right.
So the manager picked up the phone and he's talking to the owner, and I hear the owner say, "You tell that skinny motherfucker that if I gotta get up there and come down there, I'm gonna throw
He's
him
talking
and
about me.
drag him all over the bar." And the manager was like, "No, that's the wrong guy. That's the other guy."
The Hulk is saying.
So all of a sudden the manager turned and all of a sudden he
This
goes,
guy's a gorilla.
"Here's your $500. He probably told me, he said, "This motherfucker's big."
6'4", fucking.
That's it. You know what? And then of course the manager said, "Well, the owner said that you'll never play West Haven again." We fucking played here for
West
like
Haven again, like
fucking
West Haven.
25 years.
Not
Fucking
West
Madison
Haven.
Square Garden.
Oh,
Matter of fact,
God.
we lost the
I'm
club.
not gonna play
too.
Mike's Pizza.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
So that was kind of funny. I don't.
I love Mike's Pizza, by the way.
And by the way, the word got around about that
Some
story.
man made Mike's.
The word got around about that story pretty fast, and
Yeah.
nobody's ever questioned. We don't ask for
But is
that
that
money.
something like back in the day that kind of made you realize how to negotiate ahead of time, how to like kind of figure out like I don't really want to play for how many people I bring. Like I mean, you guys were so new
Wait,
and young, and
that's
Well, it was
what I'm
never
trying
like
to
that. But it was never like that. He never
Yeah.
said. He didn't say play
did
for
you
the
guys
door.
agree on a?
Yeah, we agreed on
So-
$500.
So then he wanted to renege on the
Yeah.
original
Yeah, because he
agreement.
didn't think that it was that busy. I said, "No, it doesn't
Yeah.
work like that."
Right.
You know, I mean,
Right.
if you want to get out your
People
cash.
have to understand, or should I say, club owners have to understand, is that you are paying us for entertainment.
Right.
whether we bring 1,000 people or we bring 100 people, you owe us money for
Yeah.
entertainment.
Right.
Okay,
This is a
it's
big
great.
debate.
It's great when the place is packed. You know, you want to give us a little extra. That's
Yeah.
great too. And we don't. It's not highway robbery. We don't go in there and say we want fucking $3 grand.
Right,
for
right,
it.
Listen,
I mean,
guys, it's a big debate amongst our music brethren out there, cover band, tribute
Yeah.
bands, originals. This is something that gets going on Facebook a lot.
Yeah,
I'm
where-
sure.
Where the topic comes up about,
Yeah.
you know, what the fuck with, you know, some of the club owners, right? Like,
Yeah, so let me say one last thing about Daniel Street, and this is right before we close, not right before, but this is where I give Phil all the credit in the world on how he operated business at
shout
the
out
end.
to Phil Conine, man.
Is-
He's always treated us
Yep.
great.
So
Love you, Phil, man.
so one of the biggest stresses we had was hiring bands that, you know, shit, they, you know, Billy Joel tribute wants $3 grand, and how do we gauge how much we charge the door? What if it's a rainy night, just like any other, you know, like a
Yeah,
patio,
yeah,
so
you
what,
get
like
fucked.
what do we do?
Yeah.
And he got to, I think it was Manic Mark Productions, and I forget the name of the other company, and I think he nailed it. He got these 2 companies that would promote for us, get the bands for us, obviously confer with Phil, you guys want these guys to come in.
Right.
We would get the bar, they'd
They
get
get
the
the
door,
door.
but they paid the bands.
Yeah.
There you
We
go.
we
Yeah.
didn't have to
Yeah,
pay the band.
nothing to do. That's
Yeah,
right.
perfect.
That was
That's
all
smart,
on them.
yeah. You got the bar.
So we
dude.
just got the bar.
Nothing-
Open the
that's
fucking doors, bring
Yeah.
the guys in. If we have, I think Tim Reynolds might have been one of them that we didn't
Yeah.
have to pay for. That was probably
Sure.
$5,000.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
fucking 50 people showed up.
Hey, if the 50 people were drinking, that was good.
Yeah, for us, we didn't care.
Yeah.
The promoter lost
You
money.
didn't have the pressure of.
Right, of all that
Yeah.
shit. Are
That's
we gonna?
great. That's
Yeah,
a
and
great idea.
that's how he was running at the end. To my knowledge, I believe
Yeah.
that's how it was going.
Inc. has
And-
always been a staple in, I think, the local area because number one, straight up, I mean, I think we're cool guys, we're
Yeah.
owners, we're friends with them. You know, we bring people, I
Yeah.
told you, we're gonna bring at least 40 to 50 people, even if we play fucking Stop and Shop. I mean, seriously, they don't
You keep
care.
saying Stop and Shop.
We
Is there
say
a
that-
Stop and Shop gig coming up?
Wait,
That was my favorite gig.
Which one? West End is not there anymore?
No,
Let's
last,
shut down Stop and Shop?
my point is, no matter where we play,
Playing
no
fruits.
matter where we play, we're
grapes.
gonna
Yeah, you can
drop
play
this.
anywhere. You don't give a fuck.
And then on top of that, we don't ask for, you know, that much money, just fair money.
Yeah.
They know what the going rate is, so
Yeah,
that's what they
man,
give
we
us.
all
Right.
work, we all went to college, work.
Yeah, we're not putting fucking bread on the table for our
Yeah,
family.
no,
Right,
Inc.
right.
You
Inc.
know, I
Inc.
don't need to
makes,
sell a shirt to
Throw back
put
into
gas
the
in my
studio.
tank.
yeah, if Inc. makes
Yeah, you know?
$500-600
I, for the
on a
most
show,
part, this show,
goes
I
right back
fucking
in
spend
there.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
Honestly,
Like,
it-
I just do it because I love
you
doing it.
spent the
Yeah,
money.
absolutely.
Steve paid it,
Bro.
pay to play, brother.
Yeah, the first couple years, we were paying soundmen so we could sound phenomenal.
Yeah, it was never
and
about the
we
money,
were making $25, you know?
never about the money.
So.
Alright,
We
you
gotta
guys
move
ready?
on.
We
Yeah,
gotta
let's
move
go.
on.
Yep.
Alright, so, real quick though, but this Saturday, what was it called again?
Crystal Bees.
Crystal Bees.
If
8 p.m. 8
you
p.m.
guys, can I do this? If anyone listening wants free tickets,
Sure,
or is it even a ticketed event?
it is a ticketed.
You know what? If anybody is listening,
I'll put, is there a list I can just throw them on? I mean, I doubt anyone that I know is gonna drive to Southington, but
Yeah, just let them know.
I'll let them know.
Yeah. Let 'em
I'll
know.
text one of you guys. Anyway,
Hit us up.
12 years ago today is the reason why I'll never see Dave Matthews Band again live, ever. I was never a huge fan of Dave Matthews Band, but about 12 of us, not 12 of us, maybe 8 of us
Going to
borrowed
the
a
Meadows
friend's.
finish?
Huh?
You going to the Meadows on this one?
No.
Oh, good.
No,
I thought we were
no,
gonna
no,
tell
no,
Meadows
no,
getting
no,
the
no,
next
that shit,
story.
oh, fuck that.
Alright.
I wasn't there. 12 years ago to the day,
Yeah.
8 of us borrowed a friend's Suburban and drove to Jones Beach.
Okay.
I'd never been there before, heard it's awesome,
Great venue.
and we were the first car in the lot at like 1 PM, ready to tailgate, grills the whole night, and it fucking poured all day.
oh jeez.
So we literally were like huddled up, we were soaking wet, the beach was right there. I actually bought like a Jones Beach, the only one they had left was like a purple tie-dye or something.
Yeah.
I bought that, fucking still soaked. We get in. Thank God our seats were like under the overhang. They weren't like great seats, so they were under the
Yeah.
overhang. And they played the slowest fucking set ever. Like just
Painful.
like guys, you know everyone tailgates for you. You know it's been literally dumping rain all fucking day.
Get the spirits up.
Switch the fucking playlist up.
Yeah.
You're not here tomorrow night. You're
Yeah.
off the fucking MSG or something.
Yeah.
And I was so fucking pissed. And I'm like, anyway, you know, I was probably like drunk, then kind of hungover, and then got drunk again. And I'm like, this fucking sucks. So I swore him off, and it came up in my Facebook today, 12 years ago today.
Are
you serious?
I was like, oh shit, what are they fucking on
Oh
for that shit?
shit.
I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Oh man, so there's that. I'm gonna run through all this shit really quickly.
Please do.
What would you rather? What's worse? Caitlin Clark not in the U.S. Olympics or Joey Chestnut not in the hot dog eating contest?
God, the Caitlin Clark thing's so in the fucking news now, and see, if you start going down that path, then it gets probably political. So I'm gonna stay away from that. So, fuck that, Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
I want to be honest with you, I don't know either one of those.
Okay, Caitlin Clark's the female basketball player that got snubbed for the Olympics, and Joey Chestnut's that hot dog eating guy. That's
Oh,
won,
I
like,
do remember that.
14 years in a row, and he signed on with
Yeah.
Feet. I don't know, whatever the fake meat company is.
Yeah.
It's like a fake meat, so he's eating fake wieners now, and per his contract, they won't let him eat real ones on live
Are
TV.
you serious?
So he's banned from the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Wow.
I've watched Joey Chestnut do his thing, and it's fucking impressive. This guy's
Oh yeah, 76 hot dogs in like 3 minutes
Isn't it crazy?
with buns,
ridiculous.
and he's like fucking skinny like that.
Yeah, man.
It's unreal.
You know what though? He preps.
Oh yeah, well yeah, you gotta eat like 7 pizzas.
He
the night
trains like
before.
fucking Rocky going
That's
against
fucking
the Russian.
Crazy.
Couple girls in high school. Like
Yeah, you know,
that.
I would like to talk about the
hungry.
Caitlin thing.
I'm gonna bring it up at the end of the show.
But it only gets
yeah,
goes off into
no, I think you
Yeah.
can have an unpolitical debate about it.
You can.
Just about pure
You can.
basketball. Yeah.
You can, but I can't.
Well,
so.
I can go either way.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the kid that was tased on the baseball field last night?
No.
No.
So a kid jumped on, I think it was Cincinnati Reds,
Okay.
jumped on the field and did
Yeah.
a fucking backflip. Where's my
Okay.
phone?
Okay, you got
And
Good for you.
and he was getting chased and he got tased
Wait, he did a backflip before he got there?
on the field, yeah, and got tased.
Yeah.
And obviously you get automatically arrested in these situations.
Yeah, when
you
you're on the
know, you
field,
gotta go
yeah.
to court the next day.
Yeah.
So he gets to court this morning, and the judge says to him, "Everyone thinks you landed that backflip." The municipal court judge William Mallory told Hendon during his appearance this morning in Cincinnati Enquirer, and the kid says back to him, "Pretty sure I did," and then they dropped all the charges.
That is
Are you
phenomenal.
serious?
Yeah.
That is
so
phenomenal.
funny.
She's probably a gymnast.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Wow.
funny.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do a little politics, slightly.
Alright.
Did you guys see Biden at the Juneteenth thing yesterday?
It's terrible. Terrible. What did they put him on?
Dude, the
What-
creepiest part of it is his
What?
hands.
Stiff.
His hands don't fucking move.
Is
And then
he
he like tried to make the fist pump the guy next to him.
Yeah, is he a lizard? What's going on with the whole thing?
Oh,
That whole conspiracy theory thing?
Yeah.
Is he part lizard with the mask on? I
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck's going on. Listen.
What was that show we grew up on? V. Remember that show V? It was like
Yeah.
a miniseries.
Yeah.
They were like,
Land
Listen,
of the Lost.
Oh,
Sleep
dude.
Snacks with the Land of the Lost.
Yes,
That's what
yes.
Stephen and I grew up on.
Yeah.
We're 60s
Yeah,
babies.
Land
What?
of the Lost.
Yeah.
How old are you guys?
I'm 57.
57. Fucking Christ.
Yeah.
And you're what?
51.
Oh, all right, you're a year older than me. So you're 55, alright.
You know what?
I'm the fucking youngest. Fuck you, Matthews. Don't say a fucking word. I'm the youngest here. Woo.
You know
I'm
what?
never the youngest
You
here.
know what though?
I had a guy tell me to know who Eminem was.
I look around the table.
I swear to God.
Really?
Yeah.
I look around the table and I see a bunch of 40-year-olds.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah,
I don't
seriously.
see.
35.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speak for yourself, Rich.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough watching him.
That was so weird.
Yeah.
And like, is it too late to replace him as the
Well, who are they
candidate?
gonna put in? Harris?
I guess. Or they can't put in Newsom.
Gavin Newsom?
Yeah, I know.
No,
I know.
they're you know.
I guess they're gonna run with him.
Yeah. Well, then you got to worry about the old Swan event, right? What's it? The Black
The
Swan.
Black Swan event,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can we get into that? Because
Well,
that
I mean,
scares me. We lost power in Trumbull last night.
I heard you like bitching about it online. I saw you last night, like, oh my god, everyone else lost power.
Because I get.
Like, what you think? The world was shut down because you lost power?
Yeah, these days I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to
I
expect.
gave you a like though. I'm like.
I'm like,
You think though, right?
I'm like, Richard, do you pay your UI bill?
I pay for the whole town of Trumbull.
Where am I going here now? Oh shit.
Band rehearsal.
Oh, so yeah.
Band
so-
rehearsal at my house. So
Yeah.
electric bill is fucking.
A Russian warship just breezed by Miami yesterday
Shut off
and
a
is
couple
now in
ballistics.
Cuba. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this is not shocking to me because 2 weeks ago, when Trump was getting basically, convicted of made-up charges, Biden slipped under the fucking radar that he was allowing Ukraine to use United States military operations inside of Russia.
I'm very aware.
And now, all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, a Russian battleship is basically
Sure.
30 miles off the coast of Miami.
They're gonna go flex their muscle, man.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what. Listen, they did it in the.
I said this 2 weeks ago. I'm like, this is not good. This is they're not going to not answer this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they can because we're not gonna do anything with the current
No.
situation in the White House.
No, and I think they just look at us as a laughing stock. We can't even get out of our own fucking way, this country.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, they arrested 8 ISIS members.
Coming
You
across
see
the
this?
border.
Well, they didn't nab them at the border, but that's where they came across.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like
Notice how I finished.
L.A., New York,
not,
and
not knowing the story,
Right.
but saying coming across the border.
Yep,
Because
they caught him, and what they do with him? They just deported him.
Yeah, they'll be back.
They'll be back.
They'll be back. They'll be back for happy hour tonight.
Yeah,
That's all
probably.
good.
Oh God, where else am I now? I had it all. Leah Thomas. Do you know who Leah Thomas is?
Yes.
No.
Well, so she is a he and a swimmer.
Swimmer.
Yeah, the
Oh,
one that
okay,
went to
okay.
Penn that was
Yeah.
controversy. So
Yeah.
he was trying to apply to compete in the women's Olympic swimming and was denied today. Common sense ruled that she was not allowed to swim against other women
Sure.
in the Olympics. Which, you know, what's funny is like
Would it be
I've been
fair-
following the story for a long time,
would it
and
be
like she
fair if
didn't
she
really
did?
win a lot.
Yeah.
Like she was actually losing to women, so I don't know how she
Yeah.
needed to be Olympically eligible to like,
Huh.
you know, but
Interesting.
you know.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey, remember Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little diddler action. Was it?
Yeah, a little Diddler action.
Yeah.
He was on Piers Morgan last night, crying that his house is.
Though he was good in The Negotiator.
Dude, one of my favorite movies.
Negotiator?
Oh yes,
Yeah, great
awesome.
actor.
Negotiator.
Great
He's a great actor.
He,
I was so devastated when this news hit because he's one of the guys I'm like, oh
Great.
man, not Kevin Spacey,
he's
man.
Great in
What
that.
happened?
Great in that. Great in
He was
Out-
diddling the
Outbreak.
dude's penis and the dude ended up killing himself.
Remember
and-
Outbreak?
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even hear about
Outbreak, yeah.
And was he in the whole Kaiser Sosa movie?
Yeah, he was.
Yes,
Kaiser
He was
Soze.
Kaiser Sosa.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of good shit.
Yeah.
And in the show, well, they had to actually cancel it because of all the shit that
Yeah.
happened. It was on the Showtime. So
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, so he was crying about losing his house and can't pay his bills, and he owes all his lawyers money. And I just started laughing.
I don't feel bad for him.
No, not
Yeah,
one bit.
Yeah, he's an odd character.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And
Somebody's-
what do I think that
You're not a
may
good
be-
actor, but you know.
Hold on one second. I think. All right, this is it. All right. So I used to do. We'll finish on this. I used to do when I first started this show. For about the first year, I did a little bit called Douche of the Week.
Douche of the week.
Okay, and for whatever reason, you know, it ended up being LeBron James a lot.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, or Biden. It was like one of the two, and I'm like, all right, I really got to find something different.
Yeah.
And I think LeBron's time is kind of faded. Biden's faded, like literally. Not
Do
faded.
you think LeBron is going to go where his son goes eventually?
I think his son either goes to the Lakers this year, and
Or-
that's it. Or no, I mean, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah. So they don't end up on the same team at some point?
I think it's this year. I think it's like
So
he
it doesn't-
stays. I think he stays in LA. And
Bronny
either gets drafted or is a free
Yeah.
agent and signs,
Yeah.
never plays. They get to travel together,
Gotcha.
and then he
Yeah.
sails off into the sunset.
Okay.
So he's the douche of the week. So two things. One thing, and you guys can absolutely be like, it's not really something we're interested in. But you ever watch the Dan Patrick Show? You know, Milford. Dan
Yeah, he
Patrick.
used to record.
Yeah, right above
Right
Seven
above.
Seas.
Yeah.
So he had Gwar on.
Wow.
Okay. So he does this little skit. It's called Stat of the Day. So he had Gwar come on, and he interviewed him all that shit, and then he had him record. Basically, they went like Stat of the Day, like that with like guitar riffs and shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe the boys at Ink next time they're in the studio could do like something like douche of the week. And I
Breaking the
I-
law,
I-
breaking the law.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to bring douche of the week
Yeah.
back.
All right. Let's
And
bring it back.
again, you guys don't have to do it, whatever. But like, if you guys are thinking about it, you take you fucking 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and just fucking send me a PDF or whatever. You got to send me a download file of it, and I'll play that every time on the
Yeah,
show.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Douche of the week, douche of the week, douche of the week.
So on that
Yeah.
note, my douche of the
Yeah.
week goes back to the Caitlin Clark incident.
Oh, boy.
And my douche of the week is the United States Women's National Selection Committee that didn't put her on. And I don't watch the WNBA. I do watch UConn women's basketball. I never watch Olympic women's basketball. I feel they didn't put her on for A lot of political reasons, many reasons.
Sure.
But what I found out yesterday, do you know who the head of the women's selection committee is?
No.
Jen Rosati.
No way.
Yes. Who played at
UConn,
UConn,
baby.
Yes.
Wow. Jen Rosati.
Yes.
Both
I had
of
no
them.
idea. And then, like, there's kind of this thing where, like, Diana Taurasi came out
Ooh.
and said, oh, well, she's in her rude awakening. Like, should Taurasi be on the team? She's fucking 42 years old. Probably not.
Yeah.
This has gone on since I'm a diehard sports fan, just so you know. Like,
Yeah.
I follow it all.
Keep it going, baby.
And fuck the Yankees, but fuck they're good. Fuck Dallas, and they're gonna suck. Sal,
You're Boston, huh?
I'm all Boston.
Yeah, that-
yes.
yeah.
Right here, baby. Celtics
Yeah,
tonight, Derek.
yeah.
So yeah, tip it off in about 2 minutes. Let's wrap this up.
Eddie Braz, if you're watching this one, man.
Yeah. Oh, Eddie knows. So
Yeah.
Dallas is gonna suck this
Go
year.
Cowboys.
So anyway, so we could actually do a quick sports discussion
in
after I
back
finish
we
my
trust.
fucking douche of the week post.
Okay.
Just name a name. I just want you to name shout somebody because you haven't done it in like 3 minutes.
What do you want me to do?
Just name a name.
George Clooney.
Perfect. Because he just been naming names all night and figured it's been 3
I'm
minutes.
telling you, that's what we do.
So anyway, so
You name
when I
it.
found out Jen Rosati, I'm like, oh, this makes perfect sense. Like if Caitlin Clark played for UConn, there's no way in doubt she'd be on this fucking Olympic team.
100%.
Because Gino Auriemma would have pushed, or excuse me, Auriemma would have pushed for her.
Yeah.
Rosati was like, oh, she's a
UConn's
UConn girl,
hot.
blah blah blah.
UConn's
Right.
fire hot right now.
Why? If you try to grow, one of the mission statements of the U.S. Women's Olympic Team is to grow the game. And I know the U.S. Olympic Committee is not in association with WNBA, but they are basically taking all WNBA players, so let's call a spade here. And you don't take her, which would, like, NBC, who was airing the Olympics, has got to be fucking so pissed. If Caitlin Clark was playing, even if she was like Christian Laettner in '92 on the Dream Team that
Yeah.
never really played, but you're a big Duke fan, so you watched.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark, and they played in, what was it? It was Barcelona that year, right?
Mhm.
So they're in France, so which means the games will be on probably early afternoon. The primetime games will be on at like 3 o'clock here, 2 o'clock here. Everyone, whatever, put on a weekend, whatever the case may be. They blew a golden opportunity to grow this sport. That there was a website that did a poll. How unlikely are you to watch a women's
Yeah.
Olympic game without Caitlin Clark
Dude.
in it? 95% of
You
them
know,
said I will
you know
not
where I
watch.
say Caitlin Clark should go? With Ice Cube to the Big Three and start a women's Big Three.
He fucking offered her money.
I know.
She turned it down.
Well, she's gonna turn it down because she's gonna.
Well, she wants to
she's
soil
gonna
her
be-
oats, go
She's
through
part
that-
of the
right,
system,
right,
right?
right.
She's got to do what's part of the system. I would go with Ice Cube, baby.
I mean, she may now.
He gets.
What if Ice Cube came back to her tomorrow and said,
He gets dicked around. That's
Yeah.
that's a whole thing. The whole.
yeah, I
Ice
mean, I
Cube-
can't get into that either though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like the big, like, have you watched the UFL yet?
No.
I mean, I turned it on the other day. The coolest thing is the cameras, like the drones that fly over.
I'm not even.
But that's like, yeah, but you know, eventually,
There's
just like
nothing
the XFL,
like the
that'll
NFL.
be in the NFL next year. The drones will be flying over, like, oh, it's awesome, Monday Night Football, yeah. It's so hard to compete. They are monopolies, and there's nothing. I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna watch the G League or, you know, like, I don't know.
Well, you say that now, but what Ice Cube's biggest argument is nobody will get behind him. If
It's 3-on-3 pickup hoops. I don't go down to the fucking local, like, I don't know, like,
those guys are ballers, dude.
they
those
are,
guys-
but like, it's like the rules are weird. Like, I don't know.
Mm,
I've watched it because it's like
Yeah.
sometimes it's the only thing on CBS on a Sunday before I go to work at 2 o'clock. You know, I'm like, all right, and I know some of the players because they're old school NBA
Yeah,
guys.
sure.
So I'm like, all right, I'll watch this a little bit, but I don't know. Like, it's just it's the 4 majors and
I'm with you, man. But think about media, right? At NBC, CBS, ABC, they were.
you know how much millions of dollars they pay for the Olympics,
Yeah,
and they
think-
don't.
think
Like,
about-
how do they not
Think
influence
about
over
think
this?
about record companies. You had your big 5. You had Sony, you know, Columbia,
Geffen.
Geffen.
Yeah.
Listen, all things change. All that.
Oh
little
yeah,
bit.
true.
So you never know, man. You know.
Somebody posted that if during a women's Olympic game, if Caitlin Clark posted a reel on Instagram, she would get like 10 times more views than the game itself.
100%.
And that's the way the world is now.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a great point. So,
Yeah.
all right, that's my spiel for the rest of the day.
Cool.
That's my fresh, brand new douche of the week, starting every week again now.
All right. Douche of the week.
You know what? You know I brought it back because you guys are back.
Are we
with
douching?
us.
Thank you.
No, no, like you guys are my old
Thank
school,
you,
like
man.
fucking back in the
Thanks
day.
for having us, man.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
man.
It's a pleasure.
And,
Pleasure
yeah.
being here.
Love you
Thank you
guys,
so
man.
much, man.
Steve, love you guys.
This was
Love
fun.
you, of course,
Jared.
love you, man.
So
always.
Actually, I don't even have a guest next week. I got a couple I'm trying to pick between the two, so I can't really promote nothing.
Can we
so
pick for you?
who you got?
No, I'm just asking.
I'll be after the show. I can't do anything live on air. We have a lot of shit to talk after. I don't know if you guys got curfews and
No, I'm good. I
the
got
kids
some
and
time.
the fucking.
I got some.
life
I got
and-
some time tonight.
Yeah,
I'm
alright.
good.
All right. I told my girlfriend. Well, she's half hour should be asleep. So
Yeah, there you go.
I'll get home. She's what time did you get home last night? Like 9:30. I'm fucking passed out. Fucking midnight.
I heard it's morning. It clocks at 12:30.
Hey, you know why I can say this? Because she doesn't listen to the show. So. All right, Inc. This Saturday. Say it again.
Crystal Bees.
Crystal Bees.
Eight
This Saturday.
p.m.
8 p.m.
Follow them on Instagram
Yeah,
and
Facebook,
do all the socials. Facebook.
Yeah.
All the shows will be posted there.
Inc.
Do you guys have a new? Do you have a toast
Inc.
lined up
Music.
again yet or no?
Inkmusic.net.
Inkmusic.net.
Yeah,
All right.
It goes direct to our Facebook page.
All right. It's been 4 long days, baby.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it. All right, Matthew, shut it down. Love you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
man.
Peace.